At what point did Duane Akina win the great Jason Scheer over? What's their point?
I think when you start to two things. Number one, he's been much more active recruiting than I thought he would be.
Right.
He really has been. And I think that some of the players are surprised too, because I asked Gunnar about it. His energy is insane.
Right.
To be fair, Mike, we've seen some like older coaches on these coaching staffs under Rich, under Sumlin, that had no energy.
Yeah, but you should have trusted me on this one, and you didn't trust me on this one.
Yeah, I don't trust you at all with most stuff. But Akina, his energy is wild. Like, if you have a chance to watch him practice, like he's running like a player. Gunnar Maldonado said it's fun to watch. Like, it's contagious. It's a big deal.
All right, now let's talk about Duane Akina and the safeties here. I believe that there's the potential here to be one of the 3 or 4 best secondaries in the country. Listen, you've got Duane. Again, I know that you got to have some things go right, but you've got Duane Akina, who, like we talked about, is the GOAT of all GOATs when it comes to defensive backs coaches. You've got now in Tacario Davis, you got a first-round pick. Those don't come through here a lot. You've got 3 safeties, all really good that you know can play. From Dalton Johnson, who's kind of the quarterback of everything on that defense, to Gunnar Maldonado, who is obviously, my bad Gunnar, his play speaks for itself. Genesis Smith feels like an NFL player. Traden Stukes, obviously, Duane Akina has said many times he thinks that that's the best nickel in the country. If Marquise Groves-Killebrew is ready to go, or maybe Freeney, I believe that this can be a top 5 defensive backfield in the entire country. I believe it's that good, and I think with the tutelage of Jason Scheer,
yeah.
With the tutelage of Duane Akina and Jason Scheer, I believe that I don't think it's that far off, Scheer. I really don't.
Top 5 is wild, Mike. You're my guy, but top 5 is wild. I'm just hoping for best secondary in the Big 12. I'll settle for that.
Okay, fine.
Kansas secondary, their corners are very good. I think Arizona probably has better safeties. There's some good corners in the Big 12. But yeah, even if it's top 10. Let's say top 10. That's pretty damn good, too.
Let's recalibrate here, because that's what we can do on the AZ Wildcats podcast. How about top 10? Do you think there's potential for top 10 potential?
Yeah, I do. When you say top, 5, we're talking, Georgia, those schools.
Schools that all have essentially Orlando Antigua at every single coaching position. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
By the way, we're going to make fun of them in a minute here. But back to the secondary here for a second. I think that if it is a top 10 secondary in the country, the defense is going to be really good, because he's going to be able – Akina's a guy that believes in a lot of pressure. He believes in getting to the quarterback, and he doesn't want to just basically hold positions. If he's got that kind of faith, if you've got a top 10 secondary, it's going to be exciting to see what he can do in the front.
I'll say this. When we were on just now, literally as we speak, I Googled top secondaries in college football. And the first article that came up was your boys from PFF. Mm-hmm. Right? And Arizona's number 10.
All right, so it's not that wild.
Yeah, it's not that wild. And like you mentioned, that's in the Big 12.
Yes, I'm all right. There again. Maybe, see, here's what happens with Scheer. I tell him something, and he never wants to listen.
No. You said top 5, Mike. You said top 5. And
okay, well, listen, if it's already considered top 10, let's not act like top 5 is something that is far out of the equation. Come on.
I guess, yeah. Ohio State, yeah, I guess.